2026 marks an incredible, revolutionary, once-in-a-generation turn for the better for longtime Ninjago fans who have been dealing with exorbitant prices and poor minifigure distribution for too long. Is how I was going to start this video up until a few days ago when this set was revealed. The X1 Ninja Charger Remake. At 691 pieces and a $90 price point, this reveal has effectively ruined almost all the goodwill that Ninjago Legacy 2 had built up this year. It's a set that nobody was asking for when there were plenty of sets that needed justice done, with inaccurate minifigures, which is something I've been praising this year of Legacy for, at a frankly ludicrous price point, which we'll talk about it more, but look at this! That will drive up the price of a single collectible minifigure on the aftermarket because nobody wants to buy this set except for that minifigure. This is like, listen, I genuinely wrote this whole video to address every single one of these topics and how this year was doing a really good job of not falling into these common traps. So let's take a second and zoom out and take a look at this whole thing in one go. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and hopefully LEGO is paying attention because they really need to be careful right now. There are a ton of factors that go into determining the value of a LEGO set, and a ton more that go into determining the cost of one. If you didn't know, LEGO sets aren't designed, built, and then assigned a price point, it's the other way around. Designers are given a price point to try to hit, and a certain number of frames with which they get to work, and are told to design a set to fill that price point. I'm sure that this is tough for designers, and some rise to the challenge, but more and more it's felt like LEGO sets are outgrowing their optimal price window. As many of us are getting older, growing from children with no money into adults with no money, it feels like LEGO prices are growing alongside us at a disproportionate rate. This is disappointing in places like display models and play sets, but where I feel it most is collection completion. Minifig distribution. I recently watched this video by Weavy the other day. Well, actually, I listened to it while I was taking a shower, which you can be sure is the best place to be thinking about an idea. And there's a moment in it where he says this.
If you want to get your hands on this canonical set of minifigures which everyone wanted, you have to jump through hoops. So, let's start off with at least the benefit of the doubt. Say you were Bear in 2014 and you got the Battle for Ninjago City set. So that means you got your hands on the Lloyd, you got your hands on the Zane, and you got your hands on the Nia. That for one would save you about £30 worth of having to buy those 3 minifigures because you got them there instead of having to buy them on the aftermarket. So you've got 3 and there is only 3 to go, so that should be relatively easy, right? Well, let's start off simple. You can get your hands on Jay for relatively decent because he came out in a book. You'd only be paying £5 give or take for the J, so you've got 4. So the last 2 are left to get. That'll be quite fun, right? No, because now you've got to get your hands on Cole and Kai, who both came in exclusive packs that were, again, in America only. Kai came out in the exact same way that Lloyd DX did in a 4-pack of minifigures, so you had to get your hands on that pack as well. But let's say you didn't get the pack 10 years ago, so now you've got to go and get the Kai individually. But like I said, Jay was only £5 and the other 3 would only have cost you about 30 between them. So Kai can't be that much more expensive, right? No, £80. So you're another £80 into the collection and you've got one of the minifigures. But the thing is that that minifigure is also technically inaccurate because it doesn't have the flat silver shoulder pads. So you're going to have to replace the shoulder pads if you want it to be accurate like I did. So there you go, you're £80 in the hole already, not including shipping. And then you just got to get your hands on the Cole as well, which is all well and good. He came out in a little pack in 2016. That shouldn't be too bad. No, it's another 50. So you spent an additional £130 on those 2 minifigures alone. This collection is now worth, what, £150? So that's all well and good. And just like that, after £150, you've got your full collection of Stone Armor Ninja. It's just, why?
He's got a very good point, and it got me thinking about my journey collecting Ninjago minifigures. After all, I got into the theme early, so it should have been easy for me, right? Well, sorta at first. Back in the spinner era, if you wanted a particular figure, you could just go to the store and effectively buy them, since they all came in these spinner sets. And they were the full version of the figure too, armor and all. There were a few exceptions that led to extra rarity in some figures like Jay's NRG and DX outfits, but these became the white whales of the era. In 2012, they released the Ultrasonic Raider, which is where I got my full set of ZX Ninja, and any that I collected after that were just extra. By 2015, things had begun to change though, as LEGO began locking desirable minifigures behind expensive sets. Look no further than the Deep Stone Lloyd, the version of Jay with the eye patch, and the aforementioned Stone Armor figures, and the Bricktober exclusive packs of desirable figures that have ballooned in price due to their exclusivity and rarity. Finally, for the 10th anniversary of the theme, they created these golden figures, some of which were locked behind expensive sets, and some behind bad expensive sets, making the figures crazy difficult to get on the aftermarket, like the 10th anniversary Zane. He's more expensive to acquire than the Golden Woo, because at least people wanted the Ninjago City Gardens. It was a pretty set. Zane came in the Legacy Ultrasonic Raider, which was, well, we'll talk about it in a bit, but it was not a good set, nor a particularly desirable set outside of the Zane figure. This meant that people were often only buying the set for that Zane, often just to resell the Zane. Of course, then they had to price him high enough to recoup their costs for the whole set that they bought, and lots of folks only bought him because they wanted him and didn't want the set, so this drove up the demand for the figure. And you can see how this vicious cycle spiraled and spiraled until this figure became nearly $70, when the set retailed for $80. You've heard the claim before that LEGO is an expensive European toy. It always has been and always will be. But what is one to do if you care about LEGO, care about collecting its themes and its series, but don't even have the bank for to break? I don't normally focus on minifigures. I mean, yes I do, but I try not to. I feel like minifigure collectors have gotten a bad rep from LEGO fans who only collect minifigures and only buy sets for the figures. Ninjago is different in my mind though, because it's a character-driven theme and show, so I feel like it's reasonable to place a focus on the minifigures. But Ninjago isn't just an action-adventure theme anymore, not in the way that Dreams or Monkey Kid or Chima or Adventures or Atlantis or Power Miners or Exoforce were back in their days. Ninjago is now a nostalgia-bait theme as well. I should know because I'm the target demographic for it. I'm a prime moneymaker for the LEGO group, and theoretically, I don't mind, because Legacy as a concept is pretty awesome. The original Legacy wave for the 10th anniversary had some incredible sets that were excellent representations of icons that hadn't been represented physically. There was the Monastery of Spinjitzu, the one from 2011 does not count, not really. The Tournament of Elements, which was noticeably different from the one that came out originally, the Ninjago City Gardens that we talked about before, and then an underrated one, the Overlord Dragon, which looks awesome and needed to exist. But then there were also a ton of sets that were remakes of icons that had been made before, but could be updated either in aesthetics or functions. Some of these slapped, like the Golden Dragon, Jay's Stormfighter, Cole's Earth Driller, Zane's Titan Mech, and my personal favorite, the Destiny's Bounty, which is one of my white whales to this day. But then there were so many that fell completely flat. The Legacy Ultra Dragon, Jay's Electro Mech, and the Ultrasonic Raider. I'm often quite critical of Legacy 1, even though it was created for the fans, and part of my issue is that it was mostly remakes, and most of them were worse than the originals. And remakes are already a hot take in a theme where the point is for the sets to look like the show, and the show to look like the sets. On top of this, the primary Legacy minifigure designs were original, in a wave that was designed to pay homage to old sets, which never really made sense to me. It's only season 10 of the show that canonizes these suits and makes them worthwhile in my opinion. Remember that these are sets that go with a show. They're hand in hand. Why waste time making non-canon outfits? At least they brought back individual character spinners for all of the ninja. That was a genuinely cool move that I think I would care about a lot more if I was a child like I was in 2011. As is, I have all of these minifigures from other sets, so not really a big deal for me. But I will give props where props are due. On top of all this are the same things we talked about before. The 10th anniversary minifigures are incredibly difficult to come by because they're locked behind sets of varying desirability. I know that that's by design. They want you to buy every single set, but the Ultrasonic Raider is so ugly and so expensive for what it is. Is it too much to ask for the sets that contain anniversary minifigures to all be bangers? Is that so much to ask? Yes. Yes, it is. And I get it. I get it. I do. Legacy 2, on the other hand, fixes, well, almost all of these problems, and I'm in love. Sorry to my wife, but I'm marrying Ninjago Legacy 2026. For legal and sleeping on the couch reasons, this is a joke. This is a joke. First up, the 15th anniversary character display. It's $45, has 8 minifigures, which includes every single one of the ninja in mostly show-accurate representations, and also serves as a base for the collectible anniversary figures, but is intentionally built to not require them, and to look good. You can move this piece on the bottom to make these peg holes disappear entirely. It stands on its own perfectly, and helps accentuate other sets beautifully. You know, like a building system. Next up is the Four Weapons Blacksmith. It's $100 for 1,259 pieces, 6 minifigures. So this set immediately addresses point number 2 about set price, piece count, price per minifigure. It was a set that didn't exist before, that fans wanted, and it was done well. It's show accurate, it looks awesome, and clearly fans were excited about it. Then there's the Old Town, which is probably the most nuanced one that I'm going to talk about because it is expensive. The set is $300, which is a tough sell for a theme aimed at kids. And this set contains 26 minifigures and, oh wait, it's aimed at 14 plus, which is on the older side of Ninjago sets, and oh wait, all of those minifigures are all old characters and deep cuts that only the older fans are going to care about because they haven't been seen on screen in 13 years. Hang on, so let me get this straight. A large-scale set that's only affordable by older fans, that's absolutely jam-packed with references targeted at older fans, and is stuffed to the brim with characters that only older fans are going to want? Well, never mind, this one needs no nuance. It's targeted at an audience that it satisfies, and is priced accordingly. Sick. I have no opinions on the Lloyd Titan Mech remake. I just don't. But then they had to go ahead and announce this, the X1 Ninja Charger Legacy Remake, which shoots this whole thing in the foot. It's only got 3 minifigures, including the anniversary collectible figure. One of these is Cryptor without the armor that makes Cryptor stand out from the other Ninjroids. This is Cryptor? Okay, I guess I have to believe you. One is Kai in his ZX outfit, which is not accurate, and reminds me of the Legacy sets and minifigures, just using whatever suits with whatever sets. I get it, it's a show with a lot of history, a lot of outfits. I imagine most fans aren't going to care, just like most fans are not caring about the ZX suit in Lloyd's Titan Mech. But you know who is going to care? The really over-intense fans who are ostensibly the target demo for this expensive Legacy sets. It's a remake of an icon. Not that much of an icon, it was only on screen for 1 episode and was promptly destroyed, but an icon that's already been remade before, and it looks nothing like the original. Truly, this should have just been sold as a new set rather than a Legacy set, because apart from the motorcycle feature, it doesn't resemble the original in the slightest. It's $89.99 for 691 pieces and 3 minifigures. The set is 3 inches high, 9.5 inches long, and 4.5 inches wide. So that's a little over twice as many pieces as the new Speed Champions DeLorean, the time machine for Back to the Future, whatever, and only 3 inches longer and 2 inches wider. That car costs $30, so this shouldn't cost more than $60, right? Right? I want to take both of these 2 cars and get the weights of both. And the X1 Ninja Charger better be dense as heck to justify 3 times the price of the DeLorean in an unlicensed theme, because otherwise I'm going to feel really taken advantage of. LEGO needs to be careful with Ninjago in 2026. Design decisions aside, why is it priced at $90? Well, because it can be. Because they can get away with it because they know that we're going to pay for it. I'm willing to bet that they saw how fast the 15th anniversary character display and the blacksmith sold out in January and went, oh, wait, we can charge a lot for these nostalgia sets. The character display was available for pre-order, but sold out incredibly quickly. And then on January 1st, when the set officially released on LEGO.com, within 20 minutes, it was completely sold out, put on back order. 20 minutes after midnight. When I tried to pre-order the Blacksmith Shop, they were also sold out. On the day of release, I went to 2 of the 3 LEGO stores near me to try to find one, and both sets were sold out. It wasn't until 2 weeks later that I happened to find a blacksmith, and I had to order a character display off of Amazon. I still haven't seen one in stores as of the end of February 2026. And I get that red cars sell well. Kai red cars are probably statistically the best-selling sets. But isn't this supposed to celebrate something else? Something deeper, something sweeter? I thought we were celebrating generosity. I thought we were celebrating an attention to detail, an attention to the fans that has been lacking even throughout most of Legacy 1. I thought that that was what was so distinguishing about Legacy 2. That's what was so special. And don't get me wrong, it is special. I have loved watching LEGO designer Lychee Wing talk about how much he loved working on these two sets right here. On Instagram, he said of the Old Town, "I wanted it to be something special and unique for our Big 15. Something that brings people the same excitement I had back when I first saw the Temple of Air Jitsu or the first Ninjago City. I wanted it to have the same level of complexity people expect from our D2Cs. I wanted it to celebrate every part of the Ninjago history. I wanted it to have a good value for $300. I wanted it to be a complete set that you can be happy if this is the only Ninjago set you get this year. I wanted it to be more than just a nice display, but celebrates the roots of Ninjago being a theme that inspires play and imagination. And I wanted a minifigure lineup so epic that people wouldn't even believe it if it leaked. I hope I have delivered on all of the above, but most importantly, I hope the fans will be happy when they get their hands on this product, for this is very much my ultimate love letter to Ninjago." So then, what gives with this set? What's different? This is different, and I am not a fan of this kind of business practice that takes advantage of goodwill from consumers, from fans, from this community. This video was truly, at conception phase, going to be about how awesome this year is for Ninjago fans. But now, it's just a little harder to say that. I'm always going to love LEGO, but I do have to call out things that I don't like. Am I going to buy it? I honestly don't know. I want to collect all of the anniversary figures, but I don't know whether it's better to just buy the set or buy the figure on Bricklink afterward. I want to have the collection of all of the Legacy sets, but I'm not particularly drawn to this car anyway. Comment below and let me know if you want me to talk about it. Let me know if you think that I'm being too harsh on this set or too praising of the rest of this wave, because ultimately you are the person and the people that I represent here. So thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing if you haven't and joining the conversation, and I'll see you soon. And if you've been patiently waiting for my store display update video, thank you very much. I've been really hard at work on it. I'm very, very excited to show you what I've been doing. And I can't wait. So here's a little sneak peek. Oh my gosh.